Welcome back to my darkroom, and today we are going to align my enlarger. As you may have seen in my other videos, I use a DeVere 5108. It's an 8x10 enlarger, and it's a floor standing model. There are bench models available. Now the movements I'm going to show you should be the same on the larger 11x14 model, and then on the smaller 507, 504, and 203 models. And if they're not in the exact same place, they should be fairly close. So if you have any of those, you can follow along. So what we're going to go over is leveling the entire machine from the floor, leveling the baseboard, the negative carrier, the lens stage, and then making sure that the head sits flat on the negative carrier. Alright, you're only going to see about part of my face here, but what we're interested in are the leveling feet. So let me scoot in here a little bit tighter. So with these model of enlargers, we have 2 feet up front. Move out of the way. Yeah, right there. This is a flattering angle, isn't it? So here and here. And then I've got 2 in the back as well. What we need to do is get the whole machine level, but we're mostly concerned with the upper column because that's what the negative and lens stage ride on. So I would recommend taking your level and sticking it on that upper column. But for the sake of demonstration, I'm going to put it down here where we can see it. But we also have a bracket up at the top that needs to be loosened because that is what attaches it to the wall for stabilization. So I've got my level here, and to do this you take just a big flathead screwdriver and you turn this screw, and it's actually just a bolt, and the head of the bolt is pushing down on the floor. But in order to get this level, you don't want to just turn one because that'll not just move the whole thing back, but also tilt it. Think of a table, like a restaurant table, that is wobbly because 3 feet touch the floor and not 4. We don't want to create that problem. So if you already have a wobble, then take the loose foot, turn it until it touches, and you don't have any more wobble. Then you can begin leveling. So to level this, if we're going to go side to side, what I need to do is turn this screw and the matching screw on this side on the back in equal amount until I tilt the whole thing to the side. Or if I need to go the other way, I can either loosen them or I can tighten these two. It's up to you which way you want to go. So I would recommend you take this, and if you turn it a quarter turn, then turn the matching screw here a quarter turn. So I'm going to turn that back because I actually have it level now. And then once you have it leveled side to side, you're going to do the same thing front to back. So I'm actually going to put that there so I can see the column, because I'm not sure if this is meant to be flat or not. I've not really checked, but I know that column is supposed to be vertical. So now that I have the column measured there, I'm going to turn this screw and this screw equal number to tilt it front to back. Go quarter turn, quarter turn. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So I'm going to leave it there. There is no locking mechanism, so you will just need to come and check it every now and then and make sure it's good. Now we're going to level the baseboard, so let's stick our heads down there and see where to do that. We need to adjust these bolts. So the way this sits is the stud extends down from the baseboard, and we've got a lock wing nut here. So we're going to loosen all 4. So I got the one back here. And similar to leveling the base, we're going to work in pairs. So right now I can see with my level that this side is a little higher than this side over here. So to adjust this, I'm going to take this nut and the one back here, and I'm going to lower them equally. So I have a 12 millimeter box opening wrench, and we're going to lower them. Alright, now that I have that, I'm going to check level this direction, and it looks like the front is still a little high, so I'm going to lower this one and the one up front on this side in equal amount. Okay, that's too much, so I'm going to take it back up. There we go. Now that we have it leveled, I'm going to just tighten the wing nuts up so they don't loosen and mess up later on. Let's move on to the negative stage, and this is to control side to side rotation and front to back tilt. To adjust the negative stage front to back, we're going to adjust here and here. The top is hinged right on this seam here, and what we have are two set screws. These screws are lock screws, but there are two set screws that use a 3/32 Allen wrench, and we're going to move them in a pair. So first we need to loosen these, and that's just a flathead screwdriver. And now we're going to adjust with the Allen wrench. So the Allen wrench is literally right next to the screw. You can see it a little bit better here. It's this tiny little hole. And so there's one on both sides. And you're just going to, again, turn them equal amount so that they don't torque the negative stage. So put it in, and then remember, righty tighty, lefty loosey. So if I need to move it, the negative stage downward, then I would loosen this, and it will allow the whole mechanism to move down. If I want to raise it, then I would turn tighter, and you may be able to see that is increasing the gap. Let me see. Loosen that a little bit more. There. So now, if I do the other side an equal amount, then I would move the head up and down. There. Once we have it level, tighten these back. They don't have to be very tight, just snug to prevent any unwanted movement. And now we're ready to adjust the negative stage side to side. That is controlled here. So we have a locking mechanism, and that allows us to tilt this side to side, as you can see, quite a bit as we shake everything here. Now this has detents to kind of settle it in the zero position there. But that doesn't mean we're actually at our 0 point. So if we find that being in the 0 position, as far as that's concerned, is still unlevel, then we have a way to move that 0 point. To do so, we need a 1/16 inch Allen wrench. Sorry, let me get it in focus here. 1/16. Okay. Now there are 2 points that we need to move. And you gotta locate them. They're not easy to locate. So behind here, with the knob, we're looking for that tiny little hole. So with the 1/16 of an inch wrench, try to do this here. You put that in, and you turn it. And so you want to turn an equal number on the top and the bottom. And you want to loosen one, tighten the other. So if I need to move it one direction, I'm going to loosen this. I'm going to turn it one whole turn. And now we'll tighten the bottom. And now here on the bottom, we're going to tighten one full turn. So the opposite. And then that will move our zero detent so that we can center it. So when we hit that detent, it will sit parallel to the baseboard. And so you'll have to do this back and forth, back and forth. So you will loosen the top, then tighten the bottom, loosen the top, tighten the bottom, little by little until it's zeroed, and then you're good to go. Once you're done, test it a couple of times to make sure everything sits the way it's supposed to. Now let's do the lens stage, and we can do our side to side and front to back. To adjust our lens stage, we're going to do it really exactly the same way as the negative stage. So first we have 2 lock screws to undo. And then 2 set screws that will push this away from the bottom while it's hinged at the top, causing the entire mechanism to move up and down. So make sure you turn them equal number. So I'm going to turn this half a turn. I'll turn this one half a turn. Once I have this level front to back, I can tighten this down. And you don't need them super tight, just snug, just so they don't slip. And now we can do side to side. So the side to side motion is locked with that, but again we have a detent, and if that detent is not parallel with the table, then we can move the detent, and we can do that in 2 places. So again, we're going to use the 1/16 of an inch Allen wrench. When looking straight up from the bottom, we can see it's right here. So we can put our 1/16 of an inch wrench here and then turn that. And remember, you have to do the top an equal amount in the opposite direction. So if I'm going to loosen this, which would be this way, I'm going to loosen it half a turn, then I would tighten it here an equal amount. Now I would check my detent, make sure it's zeroed out the way that I want, parallel to the baseboard. Once it is, we can lock it down and we're aligned. And lastly, let's look at how to get the head sitting flat on the negative carrier so we have a good tight light seal. And for this adjustment, you're going to use a 7/16 inch box end wrench and a 1/8 inch Allen key. So to level the head itself, you need to loosen this plastic nut. And there's the plastic bolt right here and the lock nut. So you might have to use 2 wrenches to do this part. Of course, this one on mine is a flat head, so I can use a So I can use a flathead here and then the wrench here. But then we're also going to loosen this nut here. So mine actually just is finger tight, but if you need to, you can use the 7/16 inch box end. And now you're going to use the Allen wrench right here, and you're going to turn it an equal number on this one and an equal number on the one on the other side. And this is going to push the bottom of the head away from the base, the angle piece that it's on, or you're going to let it fall. And it's going to be hinged with this bolt here. So this is our pivot point. So we're going to let it either fall down, which would move the front of the head downward, or we're going to tighten it and it would push the front of the head upward. This piece is just for tension, so either way I would loosen this up quite a bit to give yourself flexibility. Then turn this, turn the other one an equal amount. Once you have it, tighten this up just to create tension so it doesn't move around on you. Then holding this still, let's see if I can do this here, tighten and tighten your bolt or your lock nut. That'll keep that from getting loose. Now your head should be level front to back so that it sits evenly on the negative carrier. And that's it for the enlarger. So go step by step, go slow. The tools are very simple, just a couple of box-ended open wrenches or adjustable spanner wrenches, 2 different size of hex key or Allen key wrenches, and a flathead screwdriver. Pretty straightforward. The adjustments allow you to fine-tune in a very simple way, but very precise way to get this thing performing its best corner to corner for your negatives. So thanks for watching, and I will do videos similar to this to other models as I can get my hands on them. So we'll see you next time. Please like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you then.